It's the ACC on ESPN tonight. The Clemson Tigers play their fourth and final game in a stretch outside of ACC play. They welcome in their neighbors from Charleston, the Bulldogs of the Citadel. Hi, everybody, and welcome in with Jose Alvarez, Pete Hannity with you. Been a tough season for the Citadel, a tough stretch for the Clemson Tigers, but a Tiger ball club still with a week of games left to build some positive momentum ahead of the ACC tournament.
You're right, Pete. You know what? Once they get hot right now, you never know what can happen. People won't remember this if they have a good ACC playoff and they make it to Omaha.
Now, like the Tigers, the Citadel's battled some injury issues, but they knew coming into the season they had a young ball club. On any given game, they'll roll out 7 or 8 freshmen or sophomores in their lineup. But one guy who's really come through in his first year for them, their second baseman, Tyler Corbett. He's hitting nearly 50 points better than anyone on the team with a .345 batting average.
And Coach Skoll thinks a lot of this young man. He doesn't have a lot of power, and you see in the home run department, but he's an all-around good athlete, and they're looking for someone to take the lead, take the bull by the horns, and provide some leadership for the Citadel team.
Tigers hoping that the return of Michael Green, who missed 2 months with a knee injury but is back out there in right field, can provide some jolt to their lineup. He's moved up into the 2-hole tonight.
Coach Lee needs production out of right field. Michael Green can give that to him. He's swinging the bat well of late. I can see a mainstay in right field for this young man for a long time.
And Michael Green last night did some good things in the game against Presbyterian. His return to action came on Sunday against Gardner-Webb. Give you the starting lineup for Coach Tony Skoll. That's him with his back to us. He's a Citadel alum who returned to his alma mater a couple of years ago. Wesley Lane, a freshman, leads off in center field. Ryan McCarthy bats second. He's the right fielder. There's Corbett hitting in the 3-hole, the second baseman, 8 of his past 18. Ben Payton, top power threat on this team at first base and in the cleanup spot. Goodman in the DH role tonight. Judkins, a native of the upstate, plays left field. Ray is the shortstop batting 7th. Third baseman is J.D. Davis batting 8th. And Will Bastian, their backup catcher, but in there due to an injury issue to their starter, rounds out the lineup for a Citadel team. We told you they have struggled this year. They have gone 5-30 since starting the year, 5-6. Tigers defensively, Sam Hall, who played second base last night, moves back to left field tonight. Teodosio and Michael Green round out the outfield. Justin Hawkins, he's become the latest guy to hold down third base for the Tigers. Logan Davidson, Jordan Green back at second tonight. Grayson Bird from left field last night to first base tonight, and Kyle Wilkie behind the plate. Jackson Lindley on the hill, the freshman right-hander, getting his 5th start of the year. He actually threw an inning and a third in Saturday's win over Gardner-Webb, but here he is trying, I would think, with the number of pitchers that were used last night and that 8-7 loss against Presbyterian and with a big series against NC State, they would love him to stretch it out tonight. His longest outing this season came in a start last month against Tennessee Tech when he went 5 2/3.
Oh, absolutely. They need some innings out of him tonight. They need effective innings out of him. You know, he did pitch 5 2/3 innings against Tennessee Tech. No walks in that game and 5 strikeouts. So he's a pitch-to-contact type of an individual. He needs to throw strikes. His walks are a little higher, which they should be. But this should be a big confidence booster for the freshman.
And they will face Lane to start things out, so it'll be freshman against freshman. Lindley, an upstate product, played at T.L. Hanna in Anderson. First pitch swinging, Lane charging, and Justin Hawkins on to first. Nice play for out number 1. And we're underway here at Doug Kingsmore Stadium.
So cheers.
Tony Skoll, second-year head coach of the Citadel after spending nearly 20 years guiding ETSU, but taking the Citadel job had to be a dream for him. He's an alum, was both a fine defensive back and also a third baseman for the Citadel in his collegiate days in the late 80s, early 90s, and he was third baseman on that 1990 College World Series team. Grayson Bird high and deep to right center and gone. Second straight night, and a second one out of the park for Bird. With that home run on the season, the Tigers' first baseman tonight able to move into double figures, his 10th homer of the year. Grayson Bird now has an 11-game hitting streak. He has been some kind of hot. And Paul, his dad, who this time of the year is busy with his TV duties with the Braves, but able to be here and needed to be here this week because of graduation. Of course, his son is a graduate student now, but
And rumor has it that Paul will be joining us here in the booth at some point in time tonight.
Third team in as many years for the right fielder. That's into left center, sinking fast, diving try beyond the reach of Lane. Hall will score easily, and into second base goes Michael Green with the RBI double. And for Green, big hit right there to put Clemson in front 2-0, and that's his third double of the year. To 3-14 when the game began. Of course, a proud dad. Through the left side, and that'll get another run home. Second RBI in the game. Second run for the Tigers in the inning, and they lead 3-0. 5 hits now for Clemson, and a 2-for-2 ball game for the Tigers' first baseman, Bird.
The electrolytes, zero sugar. Get more out of zero.
Tigers 2 in the third, a 3-0 lead as we head to the fourth inning here at Doug Kingsmore Stadium. Jackson Lindley rolling right along, 9 up and 9 down so far for the Clemson pitcher, with Jose Alvarez, Pete Hannity with you. Paul Bird kind of stop on by. You see him on Braves telecast these days. The kids think of you as a TV personality. The baseball fans, who are a little bit older, remember your playing days. And, of course, you've been a proud Clemson dad. But it's maybe a nostalgic time for you as your son's college career is winding down a little bit.
This is it, yeah. So we're taking it all in, enjoying every moment. And Clemson has been an incredible place to play. And, my wife and I went to LSU. We transferred from LSU, so that was tough for us. But when we came up to Clemson, it felt like home right away. Family, like, hey, welcome, how you doing? Everybody goes crazy, and you hear that. But then when you experience it, you say, oh, I get it now. And LSU is a really tough place to match athletically.
Yeah.
And Clemson does that.
Yeah,
so
it's a great culture.
Really, it's incredible culture. That's the word I'm looking for.
So the Citadel Bulldogs, top of the order, Wesley Lane, who grounded out to the third baseman Hawkins his first time up. Lindley, we told you, his longest outing of the year, 5 2/3 last month against Tennessee Tech in a midweek game Clemson really needed to win, and that was a game that snapped the 8-game skid. Well, tonight, suffice it to say, this is one Tigers need to keep pushing toward a W, and Lindley's been fine so far.
Paul, last night, I'm sure you watched a little bit of the Bravos, and Ryu did an outstanding job, and you know what he had going through, was it 4 or 5 innings? Very similar to tonight's game. Lindley's throwing the ball good. He's a lot of first pitch ground outs. What do you like about the way that he's throwing?
Well, like the last pitch was downward tilt on a slider. There was another one that had a little bit more of the frisbee effect. But for me, I think you have to, as a right-hander, have a good slider.
Little nubber, and Green on to first, and that's out number 1. Jordan, I think, realized it would have been a futile attempt.
Yeah,
nice job keeping the hands in, pulling the ball over second base.
Yeah.
See how I did a little color right there? So I got to.
Hey, you're experienced, and I'm a rookie at this, Pablo. You're doing a good job there. I enjoy watching Fox Sports with you guys.
You know what? I'm passionate about baseball. I love it. I love it when I played. I loved it when I retired. It's meant so much to me. You know, people say, who's your favorite catcher? And I will always say my dad, number 1.
Good for you.
Yeah.
He was your first catcher.
My first catcher.
Yeah.
And then, when I was pitching for the Indians in the big leagues, my mom said, what do you want for Christmas? He said, a catcher's mitt.
Right side, Bird, the only play to first.
And my mom said, you're too old to catch him. He goes, no. So he got a catcher's mitt, and, how about this first baseman?
Look at that
guy on the team.
Yeah, how about the guy he's played both corners this year? He's played left field.
That's it.
I mean, he looks like Ricky Henderson at left field, I got to tell you. So, it's interesting, the fact that you're not only a guy who played the game, and a bunch of guys who played it, they liked it, but, there are other things. I think it's then pretty cool that you played for a number of teams as opposed to if you'd only been for 1 or 2. That way you got to see all kinds of different organizations, different ballparks.
How many organizations
both leagues
you played for?
So I was with 7 different organizations, but I came back to 2 organizations twice, and I'm real proud of that because, they missed me. And the Braves were one, and they said, well, we brought you back. We remembered why we got rid of you the first time. So I went back out, and then I walked away with, again, I'm not tooting my own horn, but My wife moved us 56 times, and she said, I can't follow you anymore.
Wow.
And I had 3 big league contracts that were guaranteed, and I said, well, it's time to quit. And
Wow.
I'm really glad because I got to spend a lot of time with the Clemson first baseman, my other son, Colby. And
that's
baseball's a great life, but they don't tell you how much time you're going to miss.
Yep.
So my wife and I have been married 25 years, and she says,
That's awesome.
we're good for about half of that, really, because you were gone for so much.
I hear the same thing from my wife. We're coming up on 25.
You're in the same business.
Yeah.
You got it. You get it. So not looking for sympathy. Again, I've lived a great life, but, it's nice to be able to spend time with your family when you can.
She's already got tons of hits on it, and it is 56 times. We moved 39, and I thought that was a lot.
Yeah.
So 56, wow.
Crazy.
Down goes Payton on the swing and a miss. First strikeout in the game for Lindley, and it comes with a man in scoring position. Middle of the third, Tigers maintain a 3-0 lead. Let's keep it here and continue our chat with Paul Byrd, former Major League pitcher, Braves broadcaster, but this weekend more than ever, and now for 3 years, proud dad of a Clemson player. But this weekend now, the dad of a Clemson graduate, so he'll get his degree, and then obviously there's looking at baseball. But he seems like the kind of guy who can do a lot of things in life. I know you're really proud of him.
I am super proud, and he transferred from LSU. They only took 9 of his 30 credits. So he graduated early, did summer school. He's really, really worked hard.
Wait, LSU, I mean, you got to keep your window rolled up there because they'll throw a diploma through it. How did they not
Hey, come on out. No, so I am real proud. Incredible ceremony this morning.
Yeah, we've got some video of that. We're going to take a look at it.
It was, you got some of that.
Yeah.
Man, you guys are good.
Yeah.
There it is right there.
Monty Lee, certainly proud. That was Brooks Crawford. Look at Logan Davidson getting his degree in 3 years.
Came in with a lot of credits. Incredible young man, as all of them are.
And the Tigers.
Travis Marr.
Yep, Travis Marr. Of course, your son and Davidson right there, second or third, and third from the left, sons of major leaguers. And that's something else that I think has helped rub off on their teammates.
Absolutely. And Mark and I were, you wouldn't believe this team. Mark Davidson, Logan's dad, and I were teammates in AAA. So we knew each other really well coming in. So when our sons came here, we said, how cool would it be if they're turning 2 up the middle?
Now, was that after he was with the Twins?
It was.
And he was on his, so
he was, and you wouldn't believe this team. Charlie Manuel was our manager.
Yep.
We had Manny Ramirez on that team. We had Jim Tomey on that team.
Wow. So they had
Sam Horn on that team, who almost won the Triple Crown, and everybody had 2 to 4 years.
We're talking like 90, 91, 92?
This is 93,
okay.
so a lot of people had big league experience, Mark being one of them.
Yeah.
Now, Matt had to be at the end of his career because I played against him when he was in Toledo.
Yeah.
Mark
so he was
Yep.
31, 32 years old.
Yep.
And I was 22.
Oh, okay.
So, so we looked up to all those guys, learned a lot. And what I learned is not necessarily Mark, but if you get to the big leagues and you come back down, you can be kind of bitter.
Right.
You can't wait to get back up there. And there was a locker room, and Charlie Manuel pulled everybody aside one day and gave the best speech ever and was just, throwing stuff and getting emotional, talking about how he fought for everybody. We needed to come together as a team, and I've never forgot that.
By the way, new pitcher for the Citadel, Dylan Spence, and a homecoming of sorts for him. He played at Belton Honeypath High School over in Anderson County. He was a really good high school quarterback to go with a fine player on a state championship team. 15th appearance, 2-7 on the year, and one of the senior leaders on a very young team. So he will try to keep things right where they are, facing Wilkie, who was at the plate when the final out of the third inning occurred. And let's just say a Tiger was caught stealing, and we'll leave it at that.
Yeah,
we'll leave it at that.
Got his wheels from his mom.
So you were around that Indians
team.
team.
He does have 2 triples, though.
Yeah,
that's right.
He can run a little bit. He tore his quad last year really bad, could not run to first. And so he's coming back to that still. But getting a little
he's a double and a triple shy of the cycle right now.
Okay.
In the game. And Wilkie just keeps on hitting. A 3-hit night last night and 2 for 2 this evening. And he's going to try to stretch it out. The throw, he'll slide in with the double. Kyle Wilkie. Almost scoring position to start it out. And a double on the year, number 10 for him.
Almost a carbon copy of his last at-bat. Hit it pretty much in the same place. And what he did, the same thing that he did the first at-bat. He came out of the box, Paul, like if he's going for second all the way. And this ball was just a little bit to the gap more so that he was able to get in there. And that's a catcher run.
And so a single and now a double for Wilkie. And here's Jordan Green. But that AAA team you were on, those were a lot of the key guys who would then play the Braves, one of your organizations, in '95 in the World Series. I just think that's kind of interesting that you were kind of at the nexus of that universe, if you will.
It was, and we slugged out with the Braves, who had Chipper Jones and Javi Lopez and a number of others on their team. So it was an incredible year.
Now, the other thing I've found interesting about Grayson is the guy who played college baseball in Baton Rouge and then here. Wasn't he born in like Brooklyn? Wasn't he born while you were with the Mets?
He was born in Roslyn, New York. That's right.
So he's a guy you can't get more southeastern college flavor than LSU and Clemson.
That's right.
For a guy born in in New York City.
That was one of the 56 moves.
And as you could see, our family, which you showed before, my wife is half Chinese.
Oh.
So when he was born, he had a little bit of her features, that Asian kind of look, and he came out with, as you can see, also red hair.
Yes.
And I said, have you ever seen a red-haired Asian boy before? And they said, not naturally.
So there you go.
There you go. So now he's got the
Wow.
bright red beard. He's
Now, did you ever go more than just kind of the goatee you're sporting now? Did you ever go that thick?
I did, and it got incredibly itchy, and that was when I was in New York and he was born. So that's when I had the beard, but I could not take the itchy,
And I admire that he hasn't let a slump cut it off. I mean, he's stayed with it, and we talked about consistency out of players. That good players do the same thing the same way, and they're consistent. Now, obviously, you think of a guy like Wade Boggs. Wade, I played winter ball with him, and everybody thought he was superstitious, but he was consistent in the way he practiced, the way he approached,
Yes.
and you don't see that a lot for younger guys.
Green, right side, past the second baseman, Corbett. Let's see if they wave Wilkie. No, the stop sign thrown up. And first and third for the Tigers. Still nobody out here in the fourth.
Well, good piece of hitting there. He hit behind the runner, man on second, less than no outs, and he's trying to move the guy over. And he not only gets a base hit, he does a job of moving the runner to the third with less than 2 outs.
I'm like, I just haven't found the right position for him. He's got to find the right position. And he's looked at me and said, Dad, baseball is so boring. And I said, son, quit.
Which sadly a lot of millennials say.
Yeah, he looked at me and he's like, can I?
Yeah.
And he was soccer. He loves soccer. He loves basketball. And it was,
Well,
it was great to see.
Ripped right field line. That'll get down fair. 2 more will come home. Davidson will move on into second base. Another double on the year for the Tigers' top hitter. And Logan Davidson, building on his team-leading RBI total, now has 49 on the season. 6 runs in the inning. It's 9-0. And we arrive at the moment that I was hoping would happen. And has arrived. So take another look at this Davidson shot after he went hitless last night for the first time in 9 games.
Yeah, 81-mile-an-hour fastball over the middle of the plate. And they're not trying to do more than they have to. And I really believe this is what's really turned Grayson's season around.
But he was going to be a color analyst earlier for us, and he was. Now do the play-by-play. Grayson Bird at the bat, Paul Bird on the mic.
Wow, this is unbelievable.
Does that mean I still get to be his color?
You get to throw in a thought every so often.
Well, good hack right there by by Grayson.
I love it.
Paul, tell us what Grayson did the last time he was up.
Well, he hit a ground ball the opposite side. What I really like about that is he pulled a home run, and then he showed you he can go the other way on the ground. So you don't know if you want to shift on this guy too much. Got a base hit the other way. And that's one of the things that I try to teach him as a young player. Hit the ball all over the place. So this is the mini shift where shortstop is just left of second base.
Here, he's got a pretty good gap right here in the outfield, and he's done a good job of going the opposite way. As mentioned, basically we call that he's got pole-to-pole ability.
Bird, nice job. Patience with that ball up and in. That's been the difference between him this year and last year and a number of Clemson players. Ted Williams, one of the greatest hitters of all time. Number 1 rule, get a good pitch to hit. That is never going to change.
21 walks this year for Grayson Bird.
Ahead in the count, that's not a bad pitch to get him to chase. But, a pitcher, we're gonna push the limits on the hitter. When he shows me he's aggressive, I'm going to keep expanding the zone. And as a good hitter, you've got to discipline yourself.
Tell me about it, Dad.
Well, I didn't come up here for a walk, so you got
to get ready. He's going to rip
You're
one.
hot right now. Don't take that walk.
Can't walk your way to
It's
the
close.
snow,
You
boy.
get after it.
Can't walk your way to the big leagues.
That's right. Oh, I'm swinging a bad pitch now, and it'll be.
Well, the winds have
Yelling
died
at
down.
me.
This could be a good time to find a gap shot and be one at bat away from the cycle. Have you ever seen him hit for the cycle?
I have not.
Are you going to tell us that he's 21 out of his past 46?
You know what? I don't know those things. When we talk, we don't talk numbers, and I don't talk mechanics because I'm not that good at it as a pitcher. Now, front view, I can tell you if you're diving, I can tell you what your approach is, and that's what we talk primarily as approach, which I think is so much about hitting and pitching.
Well, it's a good professional at bat right there.
Go.
You got to let him call it.
Ball inside. Bird with a nice little trot down to first base. The big red beard. Now it's set up for a, well, you're not going to steal because it's 9-0, but we got some speed out on the base paths.
And up 14 runs. They're not holding him on at first, so that's why.
And a liner to Bird, and how do you like that? A first baseman who had a gigantic night at the plate with 4 hits and a couple of home runs and is about to graduate. And what a nice way to celebrate. And the family let Grayson's dad come up and hang out with us for a little while, so that was cool. And isn't that appropriate on a day when the seniors were honored? A line out for a senior getting an unassisted double play to end this ball game.
Double play with 2 home runs. A double and a single. Not a bad day, and not a bad day tomorrow for all the Clemson graduates.
The only thing Grayson Bird didn't do tonight was hit for the cycle. He needed a triple for the cycle, and he came up to bat, and instead of getting a triple, he touched all 4 bases for his second homer of the night.
Well,
certainly a big
it's
win.
Been fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks for all that you've done this year.
Yeah, had a great time doing it. Tigers celebrating a 29th win on the year, capping off a stretch of 4 straight non-conference games, now getting ready for a huge series in NC State. But Jose, the kind of game that Clemson needed to shake off a lot of bad feelings over the...
Without a doubt, they've got to get some momentum going. Tonight could be a big shot in the arm for them and moving forward, particularly in this weekend series.
Tigers improved to 29-20. Citadel falls to 10-37, and Jackson Lindley, the freshman, gets his second win and a first career homer for Chad Ferry. Again, the final 17-3 Clemson for Jose Alvarez. Pete Hannity saying so long. This has been a presentation of ESPN.